All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more Jujutsu Kaisen. So let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to more Jujutsu Kaisen. We last left out with Aoi, Todo, and Yuji, pretty much just working over Sukuna, because Sukuna is not able to keep up with Todo's revised Boogie Woogie, which allows him, effectively, to swap places 50 times within a single second. And this is something that even Sukuna can't keep up with. And when it looks like Yuji and Todo are about to get Sukuna and land like a solid hit on him, I mean, Yuji does land a Black Flash. It looks like Sukuna is trying to go after Yuji, but he stopped as we get a familiar face sticking through the smoke. And if it's who I think it is, I'm gonna lose it. So let's see what happens in Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 261, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown Part 33. And mind you, while Yuji is digging his hand into the body of Sukuna, trying to gouge out his heart, he goes, I'm gonna crush his heart! And then Yuji is thinking about Choso as he screams even louder and ferociously. And then we hear Sukuna try and go, domain expansion. And then his eyes turn to someone in the mist. It can't be. That's impossible. As we see Gojo. There's no way he is here right now. There is no way he is here right now. There is no way that Satoru Gojo is here right now. Gojo is standing in the mist. His hair slopped over, his eyes closed, but he's in the mist. And Gojo's eyes open, but then there's like a seam that goes across his forehead, just like Kenjaku. And then Sukuna's eyes are wide open. And then Sukuna starts smiling. Now I get it. Sorry I took you so lightly. As he just backhands Yuji and knocks him back, and then Sukuna turns towards him. I didn't think you were capable of doing that. Yuta Okotsu! Is that Yuta? Hold up, I got questions. Huh? And then we're getting a flashback as everyone is talking with each other. And Maki goes, no. Out of the question. Then Kinji goes, no, because of the conditions. And then I think this is Kusakabe speaking with everyone. No, but if we're all dead and the world's screwed, then just do whatever you want. Then it cuts to Panda. If Satoru loses and dies, Rika will consume Kenjaku and copy his cursed technique for transplanting brains, and then Yuta will use Satoru's body to fight? That would improve our chances, but... Wait, hold up, wait, what? I'm sorry, 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 what? If Satoru loses and dies, Rika will consume Kenjaku and copy his cursed technique for transplanting brains, and then Yuta will use Satoru's body to fight? That would improve our chances, but... Can't we copy the limitless curse technique from Gojo's corpse? Using limitless requires 6 eyes. Then we copy 6 eyes. 6 eyes isn't a curse technique. It's an inborn ability, so we can't copy it. Then it cuts to Maki. Copy will only last the 5 minutes that Rika fully manifests. Then what happens to you, Yuta? And then Yuta goes, I don't know. Then we have Mei. Here's my best guess. If Kenjaku's curse technique functions constantly or at regular intervals, you'll be unable to sustain your body or soul, and you'll die. 2. If the curse technique functions irregularly, you won't die right away, but you'll die eventually. 3. If the curse technique activates only once, then you'll be able to use Limitless even after 5 minutes. Another possibility is that after changing bodies, you'll lose your curse technique and you'll be forced to live in Gojo's body. Then it cuts to Yuta going, I won't deny it's a last resort. Even if copy doesn't fully manifest, I can use it in my domain. First, I'll fight in my domain, and then, if I don't win, I'll take Gojo-sensei's body. Wow. And then Maki goes, don't act like it's already been decided. And then it's Maki going, and then someone's going, I'm pretty pissed off right now. And then everyone's going, huh? Tactically, there's no tactical. Then Yuta continues going, tactically, there's no way around it. Oh wait, this is Yuta saying it. This is Yuta saying, I'm pretty pissed off right now. Huh? Tactically, there's no way around it. Sure, tactically, but is it ethical? What does that even mean? We're taking on Ryomen Sukuna, the greatest sorcerer in history. We shouldn't hesitate to abandon our humanity to win. Is becoming a monster really that scary? You're too important to us, Salmon. And this is Maki and Inumaki saying this. And then Yuta grits his teeth and goes, what about Gojo-sensei? Wasn't he important? We always let him be the monster. With Gojo-sensei gone, someone has to do it. If no one else has the guts to do it, then I'll be the monster. So, and then Gojo, wow, this goes back even further when Gojo was talking with Yuta way back when. So if you die, I'm taking your body. Why do you look so angry about it? Oh wait, this is Gojo going, why do you look so angry about it? Something wrong? Nah, I don't plan on losing, but who cares what happens to your body after you die? It just bugs me that Shoko didn't object. And cause Shoko goes, okay by me. By the way, I heard I have Fujiwara blood. Didn't you say Sugawara? Yeah, you and I are distant relatives. But weren't the Sugawara and Fujiwara at each other's throats? Then maybe Udo was mistaken. Who knows? Maybe both of us are out. Maybe both of us are right. Huh? What I'm saying is that you may have been born from a higher family than me. But so if you don't succeed spectacularly, it'll look bad. Like I always say, start by getting precise control over your cursed energy. And then and mind you, this is Gojo. This is Gojo when he was, released from the prison realm. This is him shortly after being released from the prison realm, because he still has his old clothes on before he started looking like Toji Fushiguro. And this is also when Maki was currently in her, ascended to heavenly restriction state. And then Gojo goes, all right, everyone, scram. Maki says, no. Inumaki says, fish flakes. Panda, in his small form, goes, I'm coming too. And then Gojo goes, come on, I know we're all sorcerers, but I'd rather not expose students to a scene with excessive gore. Especially since I don't think it's the right way to handle this, but... And then we have Principal Gakuganji, who's off to the side as well, as Gojo describes, even if I lose to Sukuna, as long as everyone in this room bites the dust, old man Gakuganji stands at the top of the true Jujutsu headquarters. So there won't be a mess like what happened after Shibuya. Get going, would ya? No, I'm staying. And then Gojo gets upset and just goes, And then he goes. And then Yuta goes, stop trying to be the monster all on your own. And then Gojo leaves, and to himself he's thinking, I can't do that. That day, I was left behind. as he refers to when Gato confronted him after all that happened before, their last meeting with each other. That day I was left behind, so I have to catch up. And then it cuts to the one guy. I forget his name, but he's the one that has like the little hat on top of his head. I don't think it's a yarmulke, but he goes, "Honestly, I don't fully understand my curse technique." Huh? And it shows him pressing into a plate, and then out of his hand is like a mound of gelatin. It's like I increase my sugar level and transform it into physical form. Then I get hypoglycemic and lightheaded. Oh, so kind of like how Kaminari gets lightheaded and addle-brained when he overuses his electricity quirk in My Hero. This dude, his curse technique makes it so that he can create foods with that same level of bodily sugar that he has and make it into like an actual physical object that he can consume or other people can consume. However, it causes his blood sugar levels to drop and makes him hypoglycemic. And then Yuji goes, is this Yuji? Or, oh yeah, it's Yuji who, or is that, no, I think that's Gojo. Is that Gojo? Yeah, that's Gojo. He's got a band over his head. It's sweet. How can you eat that? Yeah, it's Gojo. And then Shoko looks at him and goes, can you infuse another person with that sugar content? Yeah, I bet I can. Amai? Oh wait, his name is Amai. Amai, you'll be assisting me and Nita on the medical team. You'll help compensate for the brain expending all its sugar while the curse technique is in use. Got it. But don't overdo it. Collapsing from elevated glucose levels would defeat the purpose. And then it cuts to when Nita, Amai, and Shoko are currently, who is this? Whose body is this? Oh yeah. Oh, wait, this is Gojo's body. I think this is Gojo's body. No, wait, this is not Gojo. Wait, who is this? I'm trying to recognize who this is. Who's got the jacket on? Who is this? I can't recognize him. I'm sorry, not at the moment. It'll come to me. But they're standing in front of a body that's just laying on this gurney. And Nita goes, due to my curse technique, his condition won't worsen, but I haven't healed him. Like Gojo, his body split in half. This has surpassed the capacity of my curse technique, and even Okotsu's reverse curse technique. Oh, it's Yuta. You know what? How did I not notice that it was Yuta the entire time? I'm so used to him having the jacket on that him having his jacket all open was foreign to me. This is like one of those instances where you see a person wear the same thing all the time and they never change. Like in Saturday morning cartoons where the main characters wear the same exact clothes and never change them. And seeing them in different clothes is like foreign. I didn't even recognize that was Yuta. I didn't even recognize that it was Yuta. Cause I never seen Yuta with his jacket open. That's new to me. And even Okotsu's reverse curse technique. And then it's Yuta going, thanks to Rika, I'm still conscious, but I'm at my limit. Yeti, I'll do it. Or rather, there's no choice. I finished suturing Gojo's body. Once you transfer yourself, use reverse curse technique at maximum to apply the finishing touches. Amai, you'll assist. Sorry, it's with my right hand. Oh wait. Amai, you'll assist. And then it's Yuta goes, sorry, it's with my right hand. And then we cut back to the present, where Yuta, using Gojo's body, proceeds to use domain expansion. And then even Sukuna uses domain expansion at the same time. Satoru Gojo had already found the answer to Ryomen Sukuna's barrierless domain. Unlimited Void, Malevolent Shrine. And it show. Okay, so we just end the chapter with Yuta in Gojo's body using Unlimited Void against Malevolent Shrine. Satoru Gojo had already found the answer to Ryomen Sukuna's barrierless domain. So now we're going to have another battle of barriers between Gojo and Sukuna. Yuta's curse technique allows him to copy techniques. Remember, I remember that, but the fact that he transferred himself over to Gojo's body, which was repaired mostly by Shoko, and then Yuta inside of Gojo's body uses reverse curse technique to heal the rest of it, and then also using the same technique from Kenjaku after Rika consumed him so that he could transplant his brain over to his body. And now we have a massive rematch of Gojo versus Sukuna. Mind you, this isn't our Satoru Gojo, but it's Yuta in Gojo's body. But at the same time, even though it's not Gojo all the way, Gojo is still getting some attention because his body, along with Limitless, that's the thing that gets me. Okay, all right, I'm out of my chair. This chapter got me out of my chair. You know it's serious when a chapter gets me out of my chair. So, Ameth, good to see you. Jays, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Yada yada. The fact that though Gojo himself is dead, the Limitless and the Six Eyes still have a part to play in this story. You know, the only person that stood a chance against Sukuna with, I wouldn't say much difficulty, there were moments, but Gojo was just that good of a fighter. I don't remember how Kenjaku's curse technique works exactly. His curse technique allows him to transplant his brain into another body and allow him to use that person's body for himself, and also retain the abilities and curse techniques of the person he transplants his brain into. Which is why he's been able to use numerous techniques over the years because of the peoples whose body he inhabits. Which is why he was able to use the gravity manipulation of basically Yuji's mom, or at least the body he took over during that time. She had gravity manipulation curse technique, and he was still able to use it in his regular Kenjaku in his body, even after he transplanted over to Geto. So that's how Kenjaku's curse technique works. He can transplant his mind into other people's bodies and then still be able to use their curse techniques even after he transfers to another body. So what Yuta is doing is, after consuming the body of Kenjaku, pretty much he gained the ability of his curse technique, which allows him to transplant his brain over to another body. Case in point, transplanting his brain over to the body of Gojo, and then using his own knowledge of reverse curse technique to heal the rest of Gojo's body so that Gojo can fight once more. I reiterate, this is not our Gojo, but Yuta in using Gojo's body. I like how you didn't just went to hate the chapter like a lot of people. People are mad at it? Oh, let me guess. People are upset that Gojo has appeared once again, but if they understood that it's not truly Gojo, but Yuta using Kenjaku's technique to use his body, effectively using Limitless and Six Eyes to combat Sukuna, it's not that bad. See, for me, I feel if it was truly our Gojo, if it was truly Satoru Gojo who was in full control of his body and who's just brought back from the dead, it would have made the whole instance of him getting cut in half and killed by Sukuna less impactful. I would have felt a little some type of way about it, but that's not the case. So therefore, there's no reason to be truly mad because it's not our Gojo. They are mad because it's not Gojo. They're mad because it's not Gojo. People are hating because it's not Gojo. People are hating because it's not Gojo. So you want to undermine the moment where Gojo is like talking to all the people who died in the afterlife, even talking to Nanami and all these other individuals. See, part of me was thinking, like, what if there's a chance that Gojo comes back? But then I'm thinking, in a series like this where people die left and right and tend to stay dead, this just shows that with, Sukuna killing Gojo, just how much of a threat he actually is. And it actually pushed people to go even farther, knowing that Gojo is dead. However, the thought should have been in a lot of people's minds that if Yuta is capable of copying curse techniques, it's Gojo fanboys for you. Hey, I'm a massive Gojo fanboy, but I'm not to the point where I'm like, okay, Gojo's back, but it's not Gojo, therefore this Gojo is trash. Hold on. You missed my comments, but I feel you still be there, just a little speck. Let me see. Thank you, Kyushu, for introducing me to Viz. Hold on, let me read. Because y'all are scrolling through chat and I can't see it. Thank you, Kyushu, for introducing me to Viz. I read it along with you. Nice, thank you. What if Gojo wakes up inside his own body, like a little speck of him is still there? I don't know. Like, I know his curse technique allows him to switch brains and retain curse techniques from previous bodies, but I don't know how memory-wise of the people he transplants into. He doesn't Kenjaku, to further explain, he doesn't retain the memories of the person whose body he inhabits. He doesn't. That's the thing. He just takes over their body, but he doesn't have their memories. It's not like he takes over their minds, because he's basically taking their mind out and putting his in there. So it doesn't work that way. Is Geto still out there? No, he's dead. Geto is gone. Kenjaku has been using Geto's body all this while. That's the reason why whenever you saw Geto, he had that seam across his head. That's Kenjaku, who's already taken over Geto's body. However, events have transpired where Yuta is the one who officially ends Kenjaku right then and there by cutting his head off completely. And though it seemed like he exploded into these cursed spirits at the end, apparently Rika consumed his body in order for Yuta to learn how to use Kenjaku's ability to transplant his own mind. I know that sounded like a lot the way I described it, but Kenjaku is officially dead. He's officially dead. And at the event of his death, he made it so that one of the rules was that if something were to happen to Kenjaku, then Sukuna would be the one to enact the whole merger of Tengen with all the dead cursed spirits that are coming up from the Culling game. So Kenjaku is officially dead, thanks to Yuta. Rika has consumed Kenjaku's body so that Yuta can learn the copy technique that Kenjaku has used for these 1,000 years. And now Yuta has access to that ability to transport his own brain, which allows him to inhabit the body of Gojo and use a technique. How did Kenjaku recognize Yuki and Shibuya incident? I'm not sure. I think he gets the memory somehow. Maybe it's residual memories. I could be wrong. It could be actual residual memories. It could be residual memories within the body, because it's not like he consumes the brain, because we don't even see the process of how he's able to do that. But maybe he does retain some memories, but not every single one. I don't know. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to clarify this right now. So let's go down to his actual curse technique. Innate techniques allows him to swap bodies with another person, even if they are dead, by transplanting his brain into the body of his target. After this transplant, technique leaves a stitched scar running horizontally through the forehead, can remove the top of his head to reveal his original brain. Okay, so it does work that way. It does work that way. Memory, skills, and jujutsu. So I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm not ashamed to say that I was wrong. I thought I knew, but I did not. I did not know the finer details of it. I apologize for my own misinformation. Please forgive me for that. But he does retain the memories, which is why he's able to effectively dwell in the body of these people without people being suspicious unless they know of Kenjaku beforehand. So he does retain the memories when he transports from body to body. The memories of the person whose body he's inhabiting, he learns all of this. Their memories, their skills, their capabilities. That's the reason why Kenjaku is such an effective fighter. Because if the person whose body he inhabits is an effective fighter, he already knows how to use it to the best of his ability, along with any other knowledge he's gained from transplanting bodies. Wasn't sure either, to be honest. It's always good to double check, but now that we know. Let me see. Also, what do you think will happen to Yuta? Call me crazy, but Sukuna is surviving this, and either Yuta dies instantly after 5 minutes or gradually after 5 minutes. But it's too soon to say that Sukuna is just going to easily survive this, because the last ending narration is Satoru Gojo had already found the answer to Ryomen Sukuna's barrierless domain, in which we learned is capable of shattering Gojo's domain expansion from the outside, simply because Malevolent Shrine can affect the real world, and thus affect a domain from the outside and cause it to collapse on itself, which is why Gojo had to use multiple unlimited voids against him. Because the Malevolent Shrine was capable of affecting it from the outside. But the thing to pay attention to is that it says that Gojo already found the answer to combat Sukuna's barrierless domain. So if Gojo found the answer, then more than likely Yuta's going to know how to combat it simply because he'll have access to those memories of Gojo. Malevolent Shrine has a 99-second time limit. Yeah. The thing, okay, let me see. Let's see. What do you think? Or he loses his copy curse technique to live in Gojo's body, because clearly Yuta knows the solution Gojo had for Sukuna's domain. Yes, he does. If Yuta is relative to Gojo and has access to his curse technique, then he's probably the strongest character except for Takaba for 5 minutes. At the most part, given Yuta skills, and because remember, Yuta's curse technique reserves are greater than Gojo. I don't know if that still applies if his brain is in another body, but Yuta is an incredibly powerful special grade sorcerer. Now that not only is he powerful, but now he's going to have all the skills and capabilities of the strongest jujutsu sorcerer of the modern era. Access to the limitless and access to the six eyes, which means he's going to know how to use red, blue, and hollow purple. And he's already using Gojo's domain expansion, so it should be interesting to see what happens when this clash of domain expansions happens once again. Malevolent Shrine, which has fundamentally changed compared to when he first used it against Gojo in their initial fight, that's changed now. The conditions for it have changed. Its power has changed. But now we have Yuta, who is incredibly determined to take down Sukuna, not even minding becoming a monster, inhabiting one of the strongest people in the entire series in order to fight him. But now he has not only his knowledge of Sukuna, but also Gojo's knowledge of Sukuna, and also Gojo's skills, capabilities, fine details about curse techniques and the like. But now we have that against Sukuna, who still is suffering from black flashes from Yuji. So that's something to keep in mind. The fact that Shoko even sees Gojo as a weapon to use is sad. Like, wasn't there a thing going between, like, Gato and Gojo trying to figure out whether or not Shoko liked either one of them? Wasn't that, like, a question posed to Shoko, if I remember correctly? The thing is, I feel Yuji is going to be the one to put the final nail in the coffin on Sukuna. I would not be surprised, considering Yuji's potential. His massive amounts of potential. Because he's technically Sukuna's nephew, when you think about it. Given the fact that Sukuna was supposed to be born twins, his twin brother reincarnated to become Yuji's father, and thus with Kenjaku inhabiting his mother's body, still incredibly weird to say out loud. they gave birth to Yuji, who effectively has all the potential to rival and match Sukuna word for word, bar for bar. That's Yuji's potential. That's how strong he is. So now we have both Yuji, who's ready to fight. We got Aoi Todo with his revised Boogie Woogie that will allow him to switch 50 locations at once. And now we got Yuta inhabiting the body of Gojo with all of his skills and capabilities against Sukuna, who's still not at 100% because Black Flashes is just messing him up inside. But he still has the tenacity to want to fight back against everyone. This is going to be an interesting fight. My question is Yuta has the brain swap technique and the 6 eyes and the limitless, and does he still have his copy curse technique still with the many curse techniques he already had copied within it? I don't know. We don't know the finer controls. We don't know the finer details of Yuta inhabiting the body of Gojo. Does he still have access to, like, Rika? Does he still have access to, like, the copy techniques and the boundless, vast, pretty much infinite cursed energy reserve that Rika can provide for him? Does he have access to that? Because if that's the case, and it works exactly as it did for Kenjaku, then he should still have it. Because if Kenjaku is capable of retaining cursed techniques from the previous body he inhabited, and then be able to transfer that to a new body, and then use those techniques of the new body along with the cursed techniques of the previous body, then that means that Yuta, like you say, should have copied the techniques he's copied, limitless, and also the benefits of the 6 eyes, which also makes it so that he can pretty much use any cursed technique with absolutely minimum cursed energy usage. Because that's one of the aspects of the 6 eyes, is that it makes it so that it refines the cursed, it refined the user's cursed energy control and manipulation down to when it's infinitesimally, and it stated to be infinitesimally close to 0. So that Gojo's been capable of using all of his cursed techniques without ever really feeling tired, because 6 eyes works as the world's best refinery. So that when he's using techniques, it's refined to a point where he can use it at its maximum, but with the minimum amount of cursed energy in order for it to be achieved at its maximum. So now Yuta's gonna have, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just go over just what Yuta has control over right now. So let me go to Gojo. Let me just go to the 6 eyes itself, because the 6 eyes is key to fully controlling the limitless. I just know if Yuji is the one to get rid of Sukuna and bring back Megumi, he has to somehow survive this domain clash with his weakened domain against Gojo Yuta. Gojo Yuta with a fresh body and full power domain expansion at the ready. So let me do this. So the capabilities of the 6 eyes are an idiosyncrasy rarely inherited with the Gojo clan. They are not a cursed technique that needs to be activated, but an innate gift that grants the bearer the ability to master the limitless. Several hundred years have passed. Okay, overview. What are the capabilities, though? Let's see. This includes grants the bearer extrasensory perception. Seeing the flow of cursed energy in extreme detail and the ability to use that flow to read cursed techniques allow for ultra-precise control over the user's cursed energy, which is indispensable for properly utilizing the limitless techniques. The 6 eyes can see let me see. A 6 eyes bearer has immense perception and unrivaled visual prowess far beyond that of any other sorcerer. Their eyesight is comparable to high-definition infrared camera, allowing them to see even when their eyes are covered. Which is why even when Gojo had his eyes covered, he could see in perfect detail. They can easily see things from several kilometers away and distinctly tell apart different figures within that range. The 6 eyes can see the flow of cursed energy, empowering their bearer with the ability to read an individual's cursed technique in use and determine its function. They can even differentiate between different types of cursed energy and help the user identify a person based on it. The 6 eyes allows for the extreme precise manipulation of cursed energy, down to an atomic level. That's what Yuta has access to now. This not only allows the bearer to operate the Limitless through complex control of cursed energy, but enables them to process it with great efficiency as well. The amount of cursed energy lost when a bearer spends cursed energy to activate a cursed technique is infinitesimally close to zero, making it impossible for them to run out of cursed energy normally. That's what Yuta's got in his hands. Yutoru Gokotsu. I was thinking, yeah, Yujoru Gojutsu. I was thinking of Yutoro Gojutsu. But that's the thing. Yuta now has access to the Six Eyes, which makes it so that any curse technique he uses, he'll never run out of energy. And if he still has access to Rika, then, I mean, the man will have unlimited, he'll never run out of energy, and he'll also have unlimited energy. So, this is something, because if it works exactly as it did for Genjaku, then Yuta effectively has a body that will never run out of cursed energy ever. Even more so with the Six Eyes added on top of Rika and her boundless pool of cursed energy for Yuta to access. So, Yuta just, for all intents and purposes, if I can say this, for all intents and purposes, Yuta may effectively be in what we call in the gaming industry God mode. Unlimited energy, can basically use techniques with however much he wants. He has he's gonna have a full understanding of how Gojo can use his curse techniques. He'll be able to use blue, red, and hollow purple on top of everything else. But he just has 5 minutes, so we'll see. Yeah, I know I sound like I'm hyping this up, but let's not forget that this is limited. This isn't like, he's gonna have it for the next several days and he'll be able to be in Gojo's body. This is 5 minutes. This is essentially Yuta becoming the one. The way that Escanor becomes the one when the sun hits high noon in Seven Deadly Sins. He's literally going to be at his absolute peak. But instead of it just being absolute peak for him for 1 minute, as it does for Escanor, he's going to be in that state for, it's only going to last 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you can do a lot in 5 minutes. You can accomplish a lot in 5 minutes. The strongest sorcerer of the modern era and the second strongest of the modern era have fused together. Ain't that crazy? My theory is that Yuta just solved his 5 minutes time limit by reverse curse techniquing his brain. That's what Gojo was doing. Gojo was effectively doing that so he could use Unlimited Void over and over and over again. He was literally wrecking his brain, but using domain expansions over and over again, but he kept using reverse curse technique in order to keep his body refreshed so he could constantly use his techniques. So since Gojo had the ability to do that, that effectively means that Yuta will have access to that as well. His memory, skills, and abilities, he'll have access to whatever Gojo did during his fight with Sukuna. Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Mind you, not everyone is okay with Gojo's body being used because they cared for Gojo, which I understand. But the situation is so dire that this is literally a last resort. And we've gone beyond the point of last resorts, okay? We're past the point of thinking about this being a last resort. We're past that already. This was necessary, but it was also the most dire of circumstances. But with the Six Eyes, maybe he will see a way to extend the time for it. Like I said, like the one or kind of like a twisted sort of fusion dance. Yeah, kind of is to a degree. So in the domain, Todo and Yuji can jump Sukuna. I mean, here's the thing. If Yuta learns of a way to get around Sukuna's domain expansion, and Sukuna loses this domain clash, like you said, Jace, we still have Todo and Yuji who could possibly be able to lend a hand with this. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. It doesn't appear like we are going on break. It doesn't appear like we are going on break from this chapter. I'm massively excited to see what happens next. But then again, it doesn't say when the next chapter is supposed to be coming up. You know what? It doesn't necessarily say when the next chapter is coming up. So in retrospect, it kind of doesn't say if we're going on break or not. I'm going to keep my eye out. I'm going to keep my eye out and see if it says if we're going on break or not. If we do, kind of understandable, given that we're going to have the power of the Six Eyes and Limitless once again rising against Sukuna. It's a break, sadly. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised. I'm okay with it. After a chapter like this, it deserves a break. It deserves a break. Remember, Yuta can target specific people within the domain. Exactly. So Yuji, Yuta, and Todo inside Unlimited Void, while Sukuna is clashing against Unlimited Void as well. So we're getting a clash of the domains of two of the strongest people in Jujutsu right now. But I think Yuta may know of a way to get around around Malevolent Shrine. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. I've read through it. I've looked through it. I talked about it. You guys know I love talking to you guys about the manga that I read. I like having these discussions with you, not just one-sided where I'm reading and then I say, okay, I enjoyed myself, goodbye. I like talking to you guys because this is how constructive criticism and how constructive thinking for these series we read come into play. I love talking about these series to you guys. The details of it, the characters, the world building, the abilities, the powers. I love it all. I really do. But I think I've said everything that I needed to say. As far as people who are upset that Gojo just didn't come back to life, I would feel it would be a cop-out if Gojo just came back and then everything just went to like, okay, Gojo's back. Now Gojo can take Yuji's thunder and then just start fighting Sukuna again. This is not a bad chapter. This is a great one. This is a great chapter. Gojo's will lives on. I mean, is it our Gojo? No, it's Yuta making the most serious and most dire of decisions he would ever have to make in his life that could permanently disable him for life. But he's making the hard calls. This is what this series has always been about. Hard calls to make. Sacrifices to be made for the greater good and for the safety of all. This has always been a theme that's happened within the story. So if there's anyone, if you happen to watch this, if you happen to watch this stream after this video has been up and the stream has been passing, you still have a problem with it, I mean, you'll probably never make me understand why you hate it so much. Because if you just think like, oh, it's not fair that Gojo's body comes back, but it's not Gojo, I'm like, Gojo's time has passed. It's done. You can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it. Ain't nobody got no curse technique that resurrects the dead. So this chapter's fine. I enjoyed it. I really did. It was really good. There's another complaint people had too, that Yuta is stealing Yuji's spotlight, and it's just to extend the fight further for no reason. They probably skipped over the part where it says this is how are you gonna steal Yuji's spotlight when Yuji has done the most to Sukuna during these recent fights, landing Black Flash after Black Flash after Black Flash. There's nothing about Yuji that is going to be covered up by the fact that Gojo's body is being used in order to combat Sukuna. It's not truly Gojo, and it's only limited. So it's not like Gojo's presence is just going to suddenly take over everything that Yuji has basically done. Because Yuji was working them ribs earlier on. No matter what Sukuna tried to do to him, Yuji could not be stopped. And he just kept landing Black Flash after Black Flash after Black Flash, and Yuji's still landing Black Flashes, because Yuji has fully awakened. So let's not overwrite that. Yuji is still in a place right now where he can still do some serious damage to Sukuna. He was literally trying to gouge out this dude's heart. Literally trying to gouge out his heart by sheer strength alone, and Sukuna couldn't do anything until he backhanded him and knocked him away because he got distracted by Gojo standing there. The way I see it, Yuta didn't let morality get in the way, and I respect that from him. I respect him for it too, because when you're in a battle such as this with a person who has no qualms about killing everyone you know and love, just so it seems like some people have started to like the chapter after some time, so it's good. Yeah, you got to give it time. You can't just take it for face value. You got to reread the chapter. Let it process. Let it flow. Let it rest with you. You got to let it marinate just a little bit. But because it's Sukuna and you need to pull out all the stops, and you need to pull out all the stops because it's Sukuna. It's Sukuna. You cannot be playing safe with this. You got to think about every single contingency, even the ones that could be considered unethical, if it means bringing down Sukuna. Now imagine if people were trying to fight Sukuna and they were just regular people, like the United States of America. What if they were trying to fight Sukuna? The first thing that would probably pop in their heads is like, nothing we're doing normally is working. Let's go ahead and nuke the place. Imagine the devastation just by trying to nuke Sukuna, and it still doesn't work. But now you've gained his attention, and he wants to eradicate the entirety of the United States, which he could possibly do, because you don't see that many cursed Jujutsu users from America. So yeah. We are not in a battle where morals and ethics should be, considered if the end result is that everyone dies and Sukuna lives and everyone's efforts would have been in vain. But yeah, the stealing Yuji shine part, if Yuta didn't come, Todo and Yuji would have died to the domain. Yeah, because when you think about it, Gojo's domain is what would essentially allow Yuji and Todo to still be alive. Because Malevolent Shrine, I mean, we just witnessed what happens when he combined his Malevolent Shrine along with Divine Flame, and it basically just nuked an entire city. And had it not been for Todo using his revised Boogie Woogie to get everyone out before the flames hit, and Choso giving his life to save Yuji, both of them would have died, along with every single person in the city. So, meanwhile, there's just me sitting here happy to see Hakari again because it feels like it's been a while since. Here's the thing, though. This is a flashback, though. What I was talking about, that was a flashback. That whole discussion with everyone, that's a flashback. Before Kinji Hakari got froze over by Uraume. But we'll see. We'll see. I've talked long enough. I might have talked a little bit longer than I did with my One Piece reaction. But let's just see how things go with Yuji in Gojo's body using the full power of the Limitless. And this fight continues with yet another domain expansion clash. Let's see how it goes. But everyone, Ameth, Jace, Halster, everyone, I know it's a flashback. Oh, yeah. We saw, the last time we saw him was like in the last chapter or the second to last chapter. So it really hasn't been that long since we saw him. But everyone, Ameth, Jace, Halster, who else was here? Was Ogata-san here? I think I saw Ogata-san at some point. CDs. Yeah, Ogata-san was here as well. Everyone. And if I have any new people who are watching me for the very first time, I really do hope you enjoyed my unique way of reading manga chapters. My dramatic readings, voices, and everything else that goes along with it. To everyone here, all I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and even subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. Snow, you're late! So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples! Nice reviews, love to see positive reaction to the chapter. Oh, you're always gonna get like the positive outlook from here. Always expected.